And I also, one of the things I learned, I think probably in the past, I won't say decade, but probably half plus, is a lot of times we look at something as we want to achieve that. And it's great because the goals bring us to some places. But sometimes there's a calling for us
Mm.
and it's in the midway. So it's not where we dream exactly for, but there's something on the way that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
We need to learn to embrace it. And it's that we build our own crowd. We can't please everybody. We can
Mm.
try,
Yeah.
okay? We can try to make our clients happy. We can try to make the people who are surrounding us happy. But if you look at your circle of friends, they change. There are the hardcore ones that stay from early,
Right. Right. Right.
and but your circle changes because it's a demographic, where you move to.
Mm-hmm.
I moved continents,
Mm-hmm.
from a totally different country, totally different area,
Yeah.
totally different language, so. And then also there's lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
age. I have kids, so a lot a lot of my friends have kids too. I have friends who don't have kids too,
Mm-hmm.
but as well. But things change, your audience change too. It's like, how some bands have fans and then they do a record or two that
Mm-hmm.
alienates the fans. And you know what? It's not the fans' fault. They less connected that. They might like their old stuff.
Right.
And sometimes that's how a band gains new fans.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those new fans now want to go back
To the old
catalog
stuff. Yeah.
and they like the old stuff. And some
Yeah.
of them don't. Some of them say, yeah, I'm good with the
The
new
new stuff is
stuff,
cool. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. The old
So,
stuff is a different time, different
yes,
thing,
yeah,
different.
everything connects to where we are at.
Mm-hmm.
What you heard in your high school fit at that time. Some of it comes with you to other areas of life, and
Mm-hmm.
some of it travels with you till this age,
Mm-hmm.
and some just leaves. And you'll be like, yeah, when I was in high school, I was into that. I don't get excited from that now.
Not anymore.
Okay, well, it makes sense because back then you probably had the urge to,
Right.
I don't know, connect to that thing, or you had you were in a certain situation in life where things connected, just like habits,
Right.
you know. So, and preferences too.
Yeah.
A lot of these things are part of music too, and it's not talked to much in music because it's not interesting. But
Mm.
I think it's super interesting because in my growth on a musical and technical level, it's all about that. That's why when I listen to music, I don't care of any technical stuff, although I can talk technical
Of
with you.
course. Of course.
But no, it's not what I care for. How much the music comes to me.
Mm.
Like, do I hear it all? Do I feel it all? Do I embrace it all? It needs to fill out those check boxes.
Mm-hmm.
What's missing? Then I have to work on that. And it's all related to music is environmental. Music is a form of um, movement in
Mm.
sound. It's a form of connection to a feeling.
Mm.
You know, do you think music could be without sound?
Probably not.
Why
Well,
not?
actually, yes. Yes, 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 yes. And I
Okay.
say this because, and my only reference to it is more like some earlier hip hop I would listen to were like freestyle battles and like rap battles, and
Uh-huh.
that was purely just lyricism at one another, and that's it.
And that didn't have sound?
I guess it did the voice.
Exactly.
It did have sound. The voice is
See,
the sound.
music without sound
Yeah,
is notation.
notation.
Yeah. Like if I write now, let's say I write a symphony
Mm-hmm.
and I only write it by notes. You can imagine it if you know what the notes
Mm-hmm.
mean in your mind, but you're not really hearing it, you're imagining it.
Mm.
So music without sound is not music, it's notation of music. And it's very interesting because if you ask most people, can music be without sound? And they'll assume probably, they can assume because they can have it in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can have music in your head, but how do you have it in your head with sound?
Mm.
You're imagining the sound. Okay, so when you tell me, those battle of the hip hop battles, each person who was battling had a different sound
Mhm.
of their voice.
Mhm.
They had different intonation,
Mhm.
how they said the words differently, how fast they said. What's the spaces between the words? It's sound.
Mhm.
Sound and music always went together.
For me, it's like it's just it's so much to take in of, you know, how we listen to music, how we interpret music. And every person that sit, on the other chair, with me on all these shows, it's like everyone has, a different interpretation, some a little more surface, some a little deeper. Like you have definitely expanded it a little more for me today. Cause like just the way, you approach music and how you listen to music and what it means to you is unlike any I've heard. It's very unique. So I appreciate your perspective on it. It's pretty cool. It's really really cool.
Why do you think music touches people?
I think it comes back to just the psychology of people. Maybe it's the words, maybe it's the music, maybe it's how something's played. But for me personally, it's gonna be the sounds, like you say. It's gonna be how something is played, and then if there are words on top of that sound, then it gives me a different vibe. But when I feel like when I listen to something and I feel it like emotionally hit me, which I've actually have been feeling that a little more nowadays. I don't know what that is, but I've like listened to music and it like just really hits me. Maybe it's deeper content, maybe it's like deeper things that I'm hearing. You know, people are maybe saying more realer things of some of the music I've been listening to, but it's I'm very like selective on what I'm hearing nowadays, and I guess that's just how I want to consume music today. I'm not gonna just go for everything that's pushed to me. So if something speaks to me, then I'll go to it. And if I go to it, there's usually some like emotional attachment to why I went to it. And I can't really explain. I just know that it gives me an emotion, and I gravitate towards it.
So, do you know the saying when somebody tells you about something, they'll say, "Oh, story of my life."
Mm,
You can also say soundtrack of my life.
soundtrack of my life.
Okay.